Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's SEO Q&A session with me and Mr. Chris Palmer back after a few weeks off, speaking at events and all that kind of crazy shit. So apologies if you've missed us. We are back and here to stay. Well, I don't have any other events on. I don't think.
Not for a while.
Oh, that's a lie. I've got one more event next week. But I shouldn't be missing any more shows. Let's put it that way. But whilst people are coming in, Chris, how did you enjoy Rockstars? I know we obviously met and all that stuff, but what were your takeaways or advice for anyone watching about Rockstars?
I enjoyed it quite immensely. I had a lot of fun there. I think some of the big takeaways were from Ted Kabitis. Massively impactful. Him and Lee, probably, for me at least, had the biggest pieces of information and thought processes. I really liked them guys a lot. But yeah, no, I had a lot of fun. Yeah, it was awesome. I had a great time. Information was good. Yeah, what else can I say? I had a great time.
No, glad to hear you found value in it. And like you, I was very interested in Lee Witcher because obviously I'd met Ted a couple of months prior in Nashville, so I'd seen that talk previously. But Lee Witcher was the one I wanted to get more information from, and I've actually I'm just going to corner him privately and get him to go deeper. I need to know more on what this dude is actually doing. But yeah, very interesting stuff, man. So
I'd like to see some live projects too, like just one. You know,
yeah,
I mean, just one, please, just one for the boys.
If you're watching, give us fucking one. Come on,
man. Show one.
But we are here to answer your questions, guys. So please do put any questions you've got in the chat. Also, do check out the sponsor, Niche Website Builders. You can see below the link to their website. They do have Black Friday discounts going on, which you can take full advantage of if you're interested in someone doing it for you. Who the hell wants to build out their own website, right, Chris? We're all lazy bandits. You know, if you can pass that stuff off, why not?
Why wouldn't you?
Even that's just a personal thing of mine. But another very smart guy, Mr. Brian Cato.
Yes.
Brian's always got interesting things to say as well.
Yeah, he made it actually to my list. He gave me a tidbit about Hotjar and Facebook, which I thought was very good. Yeah. He made it to
the
list.
Be reaching out to Brian because I think I need to be talking to guys like Brian more often.
He's slick.
Yeah, he's slick. He knows his stuff.
Surely.
But I need to dig deeper again. I like to be friends with smarter guys than me, so makes perfect sense. But hope you're well, Brian.
I figured today would be slow.
It's always going to start slow because we missed the last couple of weeks. But they may pile in. But also with this Thanksgiving shit, I'm going to make the assumption that a lot of people just
traveling and
gas and maybe not working as hard. But hey, we will go. But Heinrich is asking, when you do these events, does the other SEO specialist give their hidden gems or new things they've tested and worked, or do they keep it secret? What's your take on it first, Chris?
So I don't, the forward-facing stuff, I mean, I think there's enough there to where it seems or is intriguing. As far as like stuff that they're working on or more of the hidden gems, quote unquote, is probably within the private conversations. So yeah, they do, but not standing up on stage, So
the problem you've got with that is you don't know what's been recorded and who it's been shared with and stuff like that. So obviously a lot of these calls are recorded and sold on. So you do need to be very careful. If you're doing something that's new, making you a lot of money, why would you ever share that on a stage? Even someone was asking me, or someone told me about a tool, and they had known that Chris had used this tool. But I'll go to Chris privately off air, and I'm not going to mention any tool names or anything, but I'm like, dude, does this really work, or are you just saying that? Like, or did that work 3 months ago? Because that's the thing, Chris, you might talk about something 3 months ago and everyone's raving about it, and then when I pile in, it's all fucked up, it no longer works.
That's a fact.
So,
Yeah.
These are the things that you have to bear in mind. But I think the bottom line is it's the private conversations you have with people, seeing them in person, sharing a beer with these guys, just making friends in the industry. It certainly pays off massively, and that is, there's a lot of gems there and a lot of good guys out there that are more than happy to sit and tell stuff. So
for sure.
Yeah, but if it makes you feel any better, Heinrich, I normally just sit in the lobby, having those conversations than watching the speakers themselves. I get a lot more from that on a personal level, just because I have a low attention span and other bits and bobs as well. So, but a lot of people are just saying the same old shit on stage. So, including myself, I include myself in that. What else you want me to magic out my ass?
Well, I think too, I noticed like it's, I always think, like I talk to a lot of people, they think that, I think you even mentioned this, like they think you're hiding something, or you're like, there's something that they're missing, and they're like going on to the next course, or they're doing like, no, it's just this consistently equals this.
I use one of my friends, Ryan Durrani, as the perfect example of this. Ryan came to me for advice and stuff over the last few years, and he always thought there was like a special link shop that no one was talking about, that only the big dog, as he calls it, the big dog SEOs go and shop there, and no one else knows about it. And I'm like, dude, there is no special shop there. Come on, we're all buying the same shit as everyone else. But he refused to believe it for ages. Like, come on, dude, let me in. Don't stop withholding from me.
Gotta be something. Yeah.
So, but I get it as well. I've got many stories where I could tell you. I think I've told this story a million times, but Matthew Woodward was selling a template once.
Yep.
He was the guy that inspired me to go into affiliate marketing. And he said that he had this new template and it had all this funky shit done in the background, and it was fast loading, and it had all this shit.
Oh, sure.
And I'm sitting here and I'm like, I need this fucker's template. So anyway, long story short, he said he's going to release this template to 3 lucky winners if they all sign up to his mailing list on the 1st of April. It comes to the 4th of April, nothing happens. I'm messaging him like, mate, did I win? Come on, give me this template. Fucking come on. Fucking nothing. Comes to like the 14th of April now. I'm climbing the walls at this time going, where's my fucking template? And he said, oh, sorry, dude, I'll be announcing the winner in a couple of days. Gets to about the 17th now, 17 days of teasing the life out of me. And this email comes out. Hi, Craig. Sorry you didn't win this. The winners of this competition, and it was 3 fellas from all over the world. And I'm raging. But 2 minutes later, another email comes in saying, but I've got a special surprise for you, Craig.
Something for you, yeah.
Here, you can go and buy it for $60. I fucking bought this. Bang. Never even gave it a thought. Boom. Bang. Got the template. And I'm like, I mean, there was nothing wrong with the template. I'm not being derogatory towards the template, but I was expecting to see, I don't even know what I was expecting to see in there. I was just expecting to see some special shit in there or something, but yeah, it was just bog standard WordPress template. And I'm like, motherfucker.
It was actually a clone of the blank slate template. Yeah, it's super fast. There's nothing here. That's fun.
So that, but yeah, I've been there, done it as well. So there you go. But we have a question from Enamul. From a PBN, should I take keyword anchor text or diversified anchors? Which works faster and safer? So that I'm making the assumption you're buying from a PBN. Chris, what would you reply if someone's buying up PBNs? Diversify the anchors, keep it towards the keyword. What is faster and most safest in your opinion?
So there's two questions here. Let's talk about safe and fast, right? So using exact match anchors from your most potent links is the fastest way, right? But using branded and variations is probably a safer way, right? So that's just two things. Now, with that being said, if you're buying from a PBN, depending upon the quality, when I'm saying quality, I don't mean, hey, how pretty it is. What I mean by quality is, well, how many referring domains, right? What's the anchor text? Where's the link place? Is it a homepage link? Is it an inner link, right? So there's questions here. But if you're buying a very high quality link, meaning high referring domain count, really good internal linking, the UR score of the page that you're on is very high, then I would use exact match for those. Your best links, exact match. Everything else, go brand or naked is usually the general rule of thumb.
Not much I can add to that. That is the rule of thumb. But hopefully that helps you. Enamel also says, should I display the full post or the summary on a PBN website? What do you do, Chris?
So depending on payment, we'll usually showcase the link on the homepage for, it's usually anywhere between 2 weeks and 3 weeks, depending on the flow of the site. It'll be showcased on the homepage in order to get quickly indexed, and then it'll move to the inner page. But it originally starts on the inner page anyway. So that's usually what we'll do. Like, we'll showcase it on the homepage to get that initial push, get it indexed, get everything rolling. And then the link will roll off of the homepage and just be that link on that new page. That's usually it. As far as homepage links are concerned, they stay there as long as the payment's there each month. That's generally a monthly or a quarterly type deal. I like I like the homepage links. They're fun. They're good.
They are powerful. Most powerful page in anyone's website. So
you're gonna pay a primo for that, though, unfortunately.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people don't want to do, is pay the good stuff.
Yeah. Go buy 10,000 of these.
Yeah.
But you only needed 100 of these.
Michael Ramirez is asking, what SEO conferences are you looking forward to in 2023, Chris? So have you any in your radar? Not necessarily ones that you might have already been asked to speak at, but is there any ones where you're like, you know, I fancy that one, it looks good, I'm going to give it a go?
I mean, hey, if Chiang Mai comes around again,
it is. I can 100% confirm it is 100% on.
Is it
2023?
Yeah, I'd like to. I think Diggity's deal. I would love to be there. This year coming up too. I'm hopeful. This year I chickened out doing one. This year I won't chicken out. But other than that, nah, that's about it. That's it.
Chiang Mai. I've got to reiterate, I thoroughly enjoyed Chiang Mai SEO previously, and I will be there November 2023. So looking forward to that one. Other ones that I am looking forward to, I will be going back to SEO on the Beach in Spain in June 2023. Amazing event, and they've actually got a Black Friday deal on that, on the price of a ticket if you go to seoonthebeach.es. That's a good one that I thoroughly enjoyed. Just the weather, the whole, it was relaxing and informative. You'd love that one, Chris. I promise you would love that one. In Spain, hot, in this beach club. Oh, dude. It's
awesome.
Free booze, like on tap. Literally, people are coming up, forcing booze down your neck for 3 days solid. So
that sounds good. Yeah, I like that. It sounds fun.
Those are the two. I'm not going to sit here and rattle off all sorts. There is a lot of other good conferences out there in 2023. I select conferences based on places that I've never been to and experienced. that's what I'm looking for, rather than going to the same old conferences all the time. So
I like that. I was a little sad at that. I kind of Vegas again would be cool. Vegas is cool. But yeah, pink lemonade. Yes, yeah. I drank just one.
They were not good, man. That pink lemonade.
Once I quickly found out that if you walk just down the steps and outside, that there's a lady standing there with not top shelf, but mid shelf, and it's as much as you want for free. That's where I went. No more at the bar. I'm good. I'm good on those $30 whacks.
Yeah. And Stephen Buchanan, good to see you, mate. Mac and cheese and Jesus, please. Not sure what that refers to, but hey, we can guess. Guys, do keep your questions coming though. Put them in the chat.
Niche website builders. Let's talk about that. Do they have any other products to maybe speed up the process for a budding entrepreneur, perhaps? Do they have the templates for the copyrights and the terms and all that kind of stuff? Maybe demo content to launch. Like, do they sell that or just the done for you service?
No, like they can do bits of it for you. I'm going to make the assumption, I might be massively wrong, that they would have templates for that type of thing. I mean, the great thing is you can go to niche website builders as an investor and say, I want to put 50K into this project. Go make me some money. And they'll do the whole fucking thing for you. You can be as hands-on as you want or hands-off. But, even for someone who maybe doesn't have 50K, can you go in there? Can you buy a website? Can you go to them every 3-4 months buying little bits of content? The answer is yes. So it's like buy what your budget allows you to buy when it comes to all of that stuff. So it's yeah, you can do what you like. But yeah, they're going to have templates for a lot of the terms and the privacy policy shit and all that kind of stuff. But yeah.
Very interesting.
Stephen sells religious t-shirts and it does well. It's a great niche. I'm sure there's a lot of religious people out there, so why the hell not? Knitting, how to get referral traffic back. So how would you have lost your referral traffic? What was that? Where was that traffic referring from? Was it like Pinterest? Was it affiliates? Where was that referral traffic coming from first and foremost? Because we would need to understand why it went away in order to try and advise on how to get it back. Exactly. And that may coincide, knitting, with how do you control major rank shuffling. If you've lost a whole bunch of referral traffic and your website has lost a significant amount of engagement and all that kind of stuff, then yes, maybe your rankings were inflated due to the engagement the website was getting, and now that that's no longer there, your rankings are all over the place, which means that you need to do better on page and do SEO better, essentially. But Chris, surely you would agree with that. If you're getting it, like, we all know that CTR works and can give you a kind of inflated, false sense of security until that traffic stops.
1,000. I mean, there's no denying it, and you can even manipulate it if you really wanted to. The issue is the consistency, and it's like cookies. Like, yeah, I had to eat 10 cookies today, but tomorrow I might want 11. So you have to keep getting. You're growing the amount of traffic, and then if it's manipulated, you have to keep growing and adding more and more and more and more and more. It just never stops. Becomes very time consuming. It's almost like a job in itself. As far as the referral traffic is concerned, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Where was it coming from? What has changed? Did you lose a Pinterest post that was ranking before? Like, where was it coming from? Figure out where that was and do more of whatever you did in order to get there. Yeah. And then the question that's up about the major ranking shuffling, I think that's been the question for the last 10 years, right? Like, oh, this month I'm winning. Oh, damn, next month, oh man, I dropped 3 positions. What happened here, right? So, and then the next month after that, you're back right where you were. So, I don't think you can control something like that. I think they said, they being Google, that they make 7 changes a day. So there's technically 7 updates a day, right? But there's, yeah. So it's just how it goes, Neaton, my friend.
Yeah, just need to drill down into the information that you've got available, analytics and Search Console and everything else. But Simon has a question. Local sites. Would you focus the homepage on the brand entity as the keyword or the main target location keyword? If so, would you have another page for the main keyword or just leave for the homepage?
Okay. I need to visualize it. Local site. So would I focus on homepage, brand, and entity? Yes. As the keyword of the main target location plus keyword. Well, yes, if there's only one location. If they're in one location and they're focused and dedicated on that one primary location, then of course, sure, it's going to be brand plus location. Now, if there's other secondary locations, then the homepage should just be entity/brand based only, because I need Google to look at the pages, not the overall site, right? That's what Google ranks. So then I would focus my attention on those individual location pages. If there's more than one locale that I want to serve. You don't want Google to confuse, or like you're searching for, location number 2 and your homepage keeps popping up. You don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So I think that's the best answer there. Multiple locations. So if it's multi-location, the homepage should be brand and entity focused, definitely. And then focus your attention on the individual location pages. It's the best way to go.
Let me give you an example, Simon, of why you need to probably swing that way 99% of the time. When I first started out my blog, I never really thought it would go anywhere. I'd just finished up with agency life, and my homepage title tag was SEO Glasgow, and then I had my name on there or whatever it was. Now, the blog then had some stuff about me and then a whole bunch of news articles, so it wasn't really targeting SEO Glasgow. However, because of the links and everything else, that homepage ranked really, really fucking well. Now, a year or 2 down the line, when the website started to do better, I'm like, shit, that should have been, more about my personal brand rather than location. Now, I tried to then add an SEO Glasgow page, an inner page, and I was also going to target other main cities throughout the UK. That SEO Glasgow page, I could not fucking shake off the homepage. When I de-optimized the homepage, my SEO Glasgow page got to the top end of page 2. I could never, it kind of fucked me up historically, because I had initially set out and made my homepage the SEO Glasgow page, which I struggled to shake off. So I think when you're doing that, Simon, I think, you have to think about the scalability and where you go. Has this business got the potential to have those multi-locations? Otherwise, you're going to fuck yourself up, and it gets kind of stuck. So hopefully that gives you a bit of food for thought as well on that. Just another one of my many fuck-ups that I can talk about. But there you go. Digital Ear, Mr. Clint Butler. The issue is scale. It's great to rely on for 20 or 30 maps. Doing it for 100 plus is pure hell.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
Isn't that the truth?
That's why I've always stayed clear of that, crazy thing that you guys do. And I know you do a lot of GMB stuff, Chris, but that, to me, that job itself is just fucking hell. So I've always kind of dodged it. Got a couple of my own businesses that have real GMBs, but all of that other stuff that you guys are doing is just insanity, if you ask me.
And then it's rinse and repeat. Don't forget that. You'll go through the insanity and you're like, yeah, I'm doing 1,400 leads a week. Yes, everything's golden. The next week, Oh, back to bologna sandwiches, baby.
That is how people end up, probably pretty depressed and pretty stressed. If you're doing 1,400 leads a week and then somehow, for one reason or another, that, 3/4 of that gets a slap, you could put yourself in a real predicament there. But
that's a fact.
It's hard to argue. People make a lot of money doing it as well. So who knows who's right and who's wrong? All we know is it's pure hell.
That we know.
That is a fact. But going back to Stephen Buchanan, talking about selling religious T-shirts. I'm talking about T-shirts in general, not religious stuff. But I once found a guy, Chris, because everyone's always looking for niche ideas and all that stuff. I had this guy who had really fucking rude things printed on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
And they sold so well. Like just real rude stuff, not mildly rude. It was pretty much like proper rude, like stuff that
proper rude.
I don't want to say words on here, but these sold really well as well, Stephen. So, but that guy went on to do all sorts of different kinds of T-shirts, and I'm also sure that he did do some religious shit in there as well. I know it sounds crazy that he was doing really rude stuff alongside religious stuff, but hey, this guy was just looking for mini niches, and so good to hear it's all going well anyway, Stephen. All-purpose work. What are the things to look while buying a PBN? Have you guys tried PBNs? I'm not sure. I haven't. I don't, Chris. Buying a PBN. I've never actually been out and bought someone's PBN. Yes, I've had a collective amount of websites that form a private blog network. I'm not sure if your question is related to buying like Chris Palmer's PBN or something. What would I be looking for? Is that what your question is, or are you just talking about
buying sites?
Yeah. What do you mean by that all-purpose work? And we can answer that more definitively.
Like buying a network, I don't know. It depends on who managed it. If it was something really nice, maybe, but the price, the multiple on that would be astronomical.
But would you really want to buy a network off some dirty spammer?
Nah.
Come on. Way. You wouldn't trust another SEO guy, really, would you?
No.
No. Yeah.
Now, like I think, finding sites, that's a fun, it's that mix. It's like, okay, what's the DR? What's the referring domain? And what's the backup? What's the TF on that? All right. How many hands has it passed? Is it clean? Like, what's the anchor text profile looking like? Is it leaning towards, rattles, or is it leaning more towards brand or the name? Like, what's it looking like? I think at scale, though, what does that look like? Because you're doing it a lot faster, especially if you're trying to get a lot. I'm just personally looking for, what's the DR rating? How many referring domains, and what's the trust flow? And is it clean? Like, is the anchor text not out of whack? That's pretty much about it. Launch them and let it sit.
Right?
What's that?
Clean is probably the biggest thing you're looking at more than anything.
I think that's the big one. I mean, I've been doing that now as we're talking. I'm looking for more domains. It's fun. Yeah. But here's
I was going to ask you a question, right? Now, obviously you're looking for this stuff. Just a rough percentage out of all the domains you look at, how many of them are actually dirty? How many are clean? What's the percentage? Is it like 10% that you stumble across? How much digging do you have to do to find clean domains?
Well, I think each day when there's a release, right? I think the average is somewhere between 7 and 13 is what you'll find.
Fucking hell.
That will actually meet the criteria that you're looking for. Unless you're not looking at like Dom Cop or something like that. Like, even like we have a scraper for expireddomains.net. Even doing it that way, it's still like, hooray.
I can
Very
imagine.
low. Very
It's a
low.
tedious job.
Yeah.
You're not doing that yourself, though, are you? Is there a VA doing that and then filtering that down, and then you get to see it?
The filtering and whatnot and the buying, I do that part. As far as the launching the templates of like the pages, like the setup portion, I don't do that. No.
Yeah, fuck that.
No, the finding though, because you have to have multiple accounts. It's like, I'm not handing that over. I got that.
Knitting. Long tail keywords are considered to be the best when it comes to the search intent, but has low search volume. Going with a mix of high volume keywords and long tail keywords with low volume would be an ideal combination. What's your take on it? So long tail keywords, you're probably right, do convert better. People are probably searching very specifically for something. But I think you've answered your own question. You know, you do want to have a mixture.
And Neaton's fun because he's got multiple sites doing 250,000 hits a month or more. You know,
yeah.
He's just like, oh, what do you think? You know, the formula is quite simple. You said it; it's in that first sentence there. The long tail keywords are considered to be the best when it comes to search intent, but have low volume. But what you have quickly realized, and I'm sure from looking at some projects, is that if you crank out a lot of pages, you can do very well with that. Because, 10 volume, 50 volume, 30 volume, 100 volume, 150 volume times 100,000 pages, hey, that adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to be asking that, Nathan. If you've got websites doing what Chris has just said, you're doing all right. Keep doing what you're doing, mate. Rinse and repeat. But I think for anyone watching, you would want to mix it up. I wouldn't. I mean, you can. There'll be guys out there who sit there and say they only go after long tail keywords. They don't go after the highly competitive ones. And yes, they argue that they make good money and all that stuff. But I think you've got to consider yourself good and go after some of the kind of middle to high volume keywords as well. You've got to have a bit of ego about you if you want to be overall, dominating in a particular niche. So there you go.
Yeah, unless it's a different Neaton, which I doubt.
Honey has a Money Robot question. If I use Money Robot in tier 1 backlink with property that no index follow, will my money site be penalized, or should I go for a tier 1 link with index and follow for better safety? Which one is better? Which one is most natural, Honey, is the question. Who goes to the trouble on Money Robot when linking to set up no index but follow? I mean, is anyone doing that, Chris? If you've seen people doing that, that looks highly unnatural to me if you're doing it through Money Robot.
I would say it's highly unnatural. I've seen those sites before. But as far as the spammy and the niche, man, I can just, the only thing I could say about using Money Robot is, man, like what are the categories of those sites? I would be very, very cautious when utilizing a mass spam tool like that at such a close tier, if they're hyper specific and relevant, the pages themselves and the anchor text, but what's the overall category of those sites that you're linking over? I'd be cautious at a tier 1. That's all. That's my best advice. As far as this is concerned, I would stick with, I think that the one beforehand probably looked a little cleaner, right? Meta name robots, or should I go with like, why, if you're going to use it, like, why are you trying to hide it? I don't, how many sites actually are like that other than PBNs that I've seen? Not many.
Yes. I think that's a massive footprint in itself. The purpose of going to Money Robot is to try and get shit indexed and get the link followed and all of that stuff. I don't see why you'd be trying to meddle with that. I just think that's a massive footprint in itself. So I would just go naturally what the vast majority are doing. Yeah, they're certainly not no indexing certain things. So, but try, test, do your own thing.
No index follow. Hey, I don't want it to show up in search results, but definitely pass the juice.
Yeah.
Like times what do they have? 263 Web 2 blogs that you can create times 263, and it's money robots. So you probably built like 20 tiers. Like, yeah.
But like you say, I don't want any of this index, but yeah, pass me the juice. You just look like the greedy guy sitting in the corner going, give me
2
a
hands.
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, honey.
But yeah, that's just my opinion. But what the hell do we know? Maeve rhymes with Dave. Good to see you. Again, as always, all-purpose work. What was the fastest time that you guys took to rank a brand new website?
Overnight.
There you go. All-purpose work.
Overnight. No.
Is that going to be a hugely...
We didn't talk about keyword, though.
Yeah. Is that going to be a huge business, a website that's built overnight? The answer is no. I think, I don't like the question, like the fastest time. I think that you need to try and think long term and scale, and obviously that takes time to do properly. And I think when I look at affiliate marketers or whatever it might be, everyone wants something done tomorrow, fast, quick, blah 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 blah. The reality is, we all know that doesn't work. You've got guys like Clint sitting there in the background. And, Clint goes into his schema stuff and all that. And that, again, takes time, effort. It's a pain in the ass, let's be honest. So the fastest time, I think the thought process when people think like that always ends up all over the place and doesn't lead to a huge amount of success when you think, let's go for speed rather than quality. But it's always good to try and rank things quickly for fun, and can be done overnight, as Chris has
definitely maybe
suggested.
Faster. But look at any timeline, like any keyword worth having, 6 to 8 months?
Yeah,
right.
Brings in real money.
Yeah.
We've all done these stupid competitions and stuff. Who can rank this the quickest and all that stuff? And yeah, they're fun, but the reality is,
it's just for fun.
Take a little bit more time and get it scaled up to making you some decent money. No problem, honey. Mr. Darren Muzzy and Rich Devman are both here. Darren, just so I did ask Palmer about the tool, and the YouTube version doesn't work for shit.
We tested that in the group.
I'm glad I hung off because, dude, that tool's on a Black Friday deal, and I'm like, oh, the fucker. And I know you never really reply to your fucking messages, so I'm just like, I'll wait until Wednesday to ask him. So I hung off. I done the right thing. Normally, I'm an impulsive guy. I'd be like, fuck it, I'll just try it. But the YouTube version, Darren,
no dice. Not for me. I wasn't willing to invest in 100+ accounts that have to stay live, but we did test it with 3, and
but the normal tool that they have, Chris, I'm not going to share names in case no one wants it shared. That works very well, right?
Very well.
Very well. So yes, Darren, it works very well. So yes, Chris, like me, seen the YouTube version, got very excited, and
I jumped. I don't usually jump at $500. The only reason I even jumped was because the other tool was so fire. You know what I mean?
So, Chris, the tool we're referring to comparing it to CTR Booster, what works better?
I personally never use CTR Booster.
Come on, man.
No, never. We tested it in the group, our mutual friend Mark, and also Paul. Like these guys I saw, like we ran tests with it early on in Reese. And from the test results, I just never made the investment.
Were you using 4G proxies and shit like that as well?
On the second tests, like later on, we did. But at first it was some platform. I forget the name of it. It was like residential ones.
Yeah.
But then on the later tests, we did test it with 4G. And at least within the niches that we were testing in, it wasn't for me at that time. But I did speak with that gentleman at Rockstars, and he said, a lot has changed in the last, 6 months.
Yeah.
So, maybe it'd be worth a try. Plus, I spoke to him. He'd be willing to let me test it out. I only need 30 days. I just need a day with it to see.
Yeah. Nah, Garrett's a great guy. He's probably the person I spoke to most at Rockstars. And he knows his stuff. And hopefully that is reflected in the tool now. There has been a lot of changes. So I can't speak for the one Palmer's using currently, but
I was excited.
I am a fan of CTR Booster, but hey, I can't compare it to the other one.
And the other dude, he showed me some of the back end of stuff, and I guess that that other tool, there's another one that's very close. I think that the CTR guy helped them out with some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And like the stuff he was showing me, man, I like that. I'm willing to give that another go.
Yeah.
Because I tested that too to no avail, but they seem to have the pieces together.
But I think Garrett did lend. I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah. So we'll see. I talked to both of them. Hopefully we could work something out. I have 2 test projects that I could work on, and then I have a client that's open to everything. So we'll test it. I like to test stuff.
There you go. Clint's just thrown it in there.
Yep.
Throwing the name out there.
That's correct.
Agency assassin.
Yep.
So, it sounds like he's doing some cool stuff there. I have tried it a while back. And 4
or 5 months ago, it was very lackluster. It produced almost 0 results. In a lot of cases, it dropped. But they said they made a lot of updates, though.
Yeah.
So, plus I saw the back end. It looks, it looks good.
The one thing, though, I will say, Chris, is I have been ignorant to certain tools in the past, Ahrefs being one of them. I remember I stopped using Ahrefs for a number of years. And I was sitting with a friend in his office one day, and he pulled up Ahrefs in front of me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, fuck. Like, I have been a real ignorant sod because all the changes that they had made at that time were phenomenal. So sometimes when you do look at a tool, it's maybe not quite there. But I think you do have to go back and revisit things and try them out again because things do improve and changes are made. So don't be that guy like me who is ignorant and sits on it going, nah, tried it 2 years ago and it was dog shit.
Right. That's
that's the thing.
Yep.
Do you think it's the tool or how you used it, Chris?
Yeah, that's a valid point. So I think at that time, there's no with that particular tool, there wasn't really any customization that I could do. It's feed in the specific keywords. And of course, we took them directly from insights. Like I just wanted to increase what we were already winning. Like, let's just pick it up. Again, it was a lot of months ago. So I'm going to give it another go. I'm curious. Plus, the guy was cool. So,
but like Clint makes a very good point there. Was the tool being used properly? Is the other debate, and I think again, as SEOs, we all rush around, and if it doesn't fucking play ball straight away, it gets thrown in the bin. And
it's fact. First 60 days, you don't work. You're out of here.
Which is why I'm going to take time. I'm going to sit down with Lee Witcher I am going to sit down with Ted Kabaitis for Quora. And I'm going to sit down again and go through other things like agency assassin and whatnot. But I'm going to actually take the time to understand them a lot better as well, because again, Quora is a perfect example. I looked at Quora 4 years ago. It was in 2018 at Chiang Mai SEO, and I took one look at it and thought, "Fuck this! This is too much. This is overwhelming. Fuck this." Now I know that Ted is very good at what he does and the information, and he's a data nerd is the best positive way I can describe him. So again, me being this guy with a low attention span and looking at a tool like that and then going, fuck it, throw it in the bin. It's not easy. Is something that's obviously a fault of me, the user. So again, said that to Ted, told him the truth. I'm like, dude, overwhelming. He went, I'll sit with you and I'll make you understand this and the main things. I'm like, Ted, you have to do it in a simplified manner. I don't have a big attention span. He's like, yeah, no, we can do that. So I will revisit that as well. So there you go. But Nitin, how do you go and track conversions from the keywords? Is there any specific mechanism to be followed, or is it difficult to track it directly? Referring to top performing pages and top impressions and CTR, can you give a fair idea about keywords performance or any specific mechanism to be followed?
So, as a put from maps to organic, I mean, with organics, it's primarily just going to be Google Analytics and utilizing UTM. But I think with maps, that's a tricky one. I just use grids, unless I'm not understanding the question. But I use the same tools that you would use, Nitin.
Is this specifically to maps, though? Is this what this guy does? Because I know you know him.
I think it's the guy. I'm not sure the last name, because I usually when we talk, it's just the first name, and I've never seen a picture before. So, but I would assume it's organic. But I don't think there's anything special. It's Google Analytics primarily.
If you're using analytics, though, and let's say someone fills out a contact form, let's say that's what you call a lead.
Yeah.
Can then go onto a thank you page saying thank you for your form submission, which then triggers a conversion.
Yeah.
So there are things like that, but it depends on whether it's e-com, whether it's whatever you're doing. But something like a thank you page is certainly something like for my personal blog. How would I track what is a conversion for me? Is it someone filling out the contact form and making an inquiry, or is it someone buying something that I sell on the website? I don't really sell a huge amount on the website in terms of direct sales. So in terms of form tracking and stuff, that's how I would do that, and that's the hardest one probably to track. Product tracking and stuff's a lot easier, but for me, the old thank you page is the one. But ask again if we have picked that up in any way wrong, because I'm not sure if you are the same Nitin who is in Palmer's group. But we have another question from Mikael. I'm just going to call you Mikael. I'm not even going to try. Not even going to try. If you're building PBNs, are you using Chrome in general, Chrome password saver? Would you hold different PBNs on the same Search Console accounts? So that's two questions. Building PBNs, are you using like the Chrome password saver or anything like that, Chris?
No.
Nope.
No. And I don't, maybe I'm wrong, but we don't plug them into Search Console either.
So I think, but if you were to plug them into Search Console, I am of the belief that everything is segregated. Now, I'm overkill. I would have a specific email for each and every individual persona that owned that PBN.
1,000%.
Everything is segmented, and I mean everything. Just because I'm a freak like that. That's just my own personal opinion. Could you potentially have 3 or 4 PBNs under the one Search Console account? Yes. You know, I, being myself, have 4 or 5 different websites in my own personal Search Console, because I own those websites. So is it natural for someone to have more than one website? Of course it is. But I think in terms of just trying to avoid leaving any kind of footprints and all that kind of stuff, I try and segregate everything. And I think you're the same, Chris, right? I know it's a lot more hard work and all that stuff, but
it is a pain. I don't, and too, like, I'm new to the building at scale. Building 10 for a client, okay, tons of quite a few, but building at scale is relatively different. Would you plug them into Search Console?
I mean, yeah, I have. For me, when you've got PBNs and stuff, I very much treat them like a real website. They're not, they're not just for links. I will use them as an affiliate website or informational website or whatever it might be. And yeah, sometimes I want to go into Search Console and see what impressions I'm getting to be able to, add more content and tweak things and stuff. So yeah, I have done it. I mean, there's certain times where I don't. Now, am I a big user of Search Console and analytics? I'm not a huge user of these things. I think you can get caught up in a lot of data and stuff. So again, it's also perfectly natural not to have that shit installed. And there are certain websites I've got, some affiliate websites that I didn't even have Search Console or analytics set up on. I just looked at my Amazon Associates account to determine whether the website was doing well or not based on the previous day's earnings, which is probably madness. But hey, I have done that.
How's this doing? That's funny. No, that's good. I like that.
But,
yeah, the scale thing, man, that's different. When you're building them out for, like, you have a client, you go out, maybe get them 5 or 10 separate sites. I used to put those all together, all in the same Search Console, same email, same everything, I looked at them as satellite sites, but at scale is a lot different. I'm having a lot of fun with it, learning it and mastering it. It's very difficult. It's not so much of the building and the accounts and the management and all that stuff, but it's like, okay, what if I want to say I have 2,500 sites? What if I want to, maybe change the anchor text on the pages? What if I want to give across 2,500 sites? Maybe if I want to, add a link across the sites. It's the time for each thing times 2,500. It's very, very difficult. That's where we're having a heck of a time, man. Whew. Yeah, the management. It's like, add people, or how do you automate this stuff? And why doesn't nobody thought of this yet? Like, anybody out there watching this, does anybody have a good tool for the actual management, like the true management of 2,500 sites or 3,500 sites?
There is no such thing.
Interesting.
I would argue that I used to use things like Manage WP to go through and do the plugins and stuff. The problem with that is that when you've done that, and sometimes the odd website will blow up because one of the plugins is conflicted with something and it goes down. So then you need an uptime monitor and all that kind of it just goes on and on and on. It's fucking chaos. Yes. But Clint has said SEO Nitro has all of that. You can add your own PBN to her system to leverage it.
Interesting.
It's an interesting choice. Something to have a look at. SEO Nitro. Yeah, I might have a look at that as well.
Really?
I've not. I wasn't even aware that I wasn't even aware that Dory had that. But
She has tools. Anyway, I don't want to get off track. That's interesting. I didn't know this. I didn't know that.
why has no one told us that, Clint? Fucking hell, that's
What the heck?
a piece of information.
Yeah. Now that's a talk. You know, like, hey, listen, we set up these 2,000 sites, and here's how we manage them, and you know, that's I'd be all ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. She owns the patent on it.
Interesting.
Dory's a dark horse. I know Dory's a smart lady and likes all her automation and shit, but yeah, I didn't realize she had stuff like that there. So we should shoot her a message, Chris. See if she can.
How can I help you help me?
Darren Muzzy says there might be something on AppSumo for PBN automation, etc.
I'm freaking done with AppSumo. Don't even get me started, Darren. I'm freaking
done.
No more
AppSumo. There's no chance a $69 tool that's been flung up on here does what we need it to do. Absolutely no fucking chance.
If there is, that man will have at least one 5-star review from me. I never even thought that. AppSumo.
Show me the money, Clint says. So, yeah, we need to check that shit out. But Clint also says Search Console legitimizes the site and lets you leverage Google indexing API to make sure everything you post. He puts his in, he creates an email for the said domain, team at domain, then adds my Google Workspace account. So that is Clint's view on it.
Interesting.
Which makes perfect sense in terms of legitimizing a website. So I think, like anything, gone are the days. I mean, I used to build PBNs years ago, and legitimizing them was certainly not something I ever really gave any consideration to. But I think going forward, I try and make PBNs that I've got real assets, real websites that make real money, that have real traffic and all that kind of stuff. So there is no real reason not to have these things on them. So it makes perfect sense to have them on there. But guys, we have got literally 2 minutes left. I'm not leaving until the hour comes up, just because I need to tick that box. So if you've got any last minute questions, please put them in the chat. Darren says, think there is something to the workspace accounts with the big G.
Well, yeah. Well, the workspace account is how you give that workspace account, management to the Search Console, and then you can leverage developer tools, which is pretty cool. And we can talk about that next Thursday if you'd like.
I've just had to put in SEO Nitro into my search just so I don't forget about that. But anyway, Mikkel, would you build 10 sites with smaller keywords in one niche and link them all together to pass the juice to the money website, which is also ranking in the top 10? And how would you call that link scheme? That is known as a link wheel. Call it what you like. You're setting up a whole bunch of doorway pages. Do you need to go to that length? I certainly wouldn't be linking them all together. That's just a no for a fact. Would I be going and building out 10 websites? I get your point if you want to dominate page one, for the reason for doing 10 websites. But do you really need to fucking dominate the whole page? What about just 3 or 4 or whatever? That's just my take on it, Chris. What's your thoughts on it? You probably go out and do the fucking 10, right?
Nah, I mean, I don't. No, I wouldn't do that. Linking them together. Nah, I generally wouldn't do that. Now, I would have, say, a mother page, if you would like, and that's targeting a set of keywords. and it's all within the same niche, but then you'd have maybe a satellite site targeting a secondary set of keywords. So like all your long tails are targeting here, all the primary service pages are here. You know, you're tackling the same SERPs, but from different angles. I've seen that done to very good success. But 10 sites identically targeting the same exact thing and then linking them together, no. I don't think I would do that. No. That I wouldn't do it. Yeah, man. You have 10 separate assets targeting the same SERP. You can do that, but I think just having maybe, I like that idea, 3 or 4 in the upper positions. Or if you were to have 10, you're targeting all the same niche, all the different keywords, but different keywords, you know? So doesn't sound like a good idea to me. It sounds like a lot of work, not for enough payoff, in my opinion. No balls.
What says no balls?
For what?
Must be talking to him. And knitting, no problem at all. And everyone else, no problem at all. Thank you for the questions. It was slowish, but we got there in the end.
Fun though.
But that's what happens when you take a couple of weeks off.
Yes.
And they forget about you. Darren and all the other American dudes, happy Thanksgiving when it comes.
Yes. Tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow, yeah. You're not working tomorrow, are you, Chris?
No, I tried, but we're going to the mother-in-law's house. So
you tried to work?
I did. Yeah, I tried. Well, I was gonna hang tight with little C tomorrow during the day, like in the morning.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get out of like all the dinners and activities, but I couldn't. I just wanted to eat dinner with my family, like little Chris, Cal, Lily, you know, like just us. But no, I got to do the rounds. I tried, man. Like, oh, I'm busy. I got my meeting tomorrow, you know. But she's like, no, Chris.
Sorry. All good. But anyway, guys, we will let you get back to it and hopefully enjoy your day off tomorrow if you're having one. And we will catch up with you same time next week. Do make sure to check out Mr. Chris Palmer SEO over in his YouTube. And see all the videos that he's pumping out there. And we will catch you all again next week, guys. See you later on.
See ya.